Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed friends, and my fellow travelers on this journey of life, we are all born into this world with a blank slate, a canvas waiting to be painted with our thoughts, our actions, and the choices we make. Over time, the strokes of life, both bold and gentle, painful and joyous, define the contours of who we believe we are. But today, I stand before you with a message that could very well change the trajectory of your life. Change the way you see yourself. Let me tell you something profound, something that perhaps you've always known but have struggled to embrace. You are not defined by your past. You are not the product of your failures, nor are you the embodiment of your shortcomings. You are not the version of yourself that the world has placed into boxes. Boxes marked by limitations, by stereotypes, by expectations that were never yours to begin with. No, my dear friends, you are so much more. And today, I ask you to see yourself with new eyes. We often become trapped in the stories we tell ourselves, don't we? I'm not smart enough. I'm not worthy. I always fail. I can't do this. Or perhaps the most insidious of all, I am just not enough. These stories, these whispers in our minds, become the prisons that lock us away from our own potential. We convince ourselves that the best we can do is survive, but I am here to tell you, you were not born just to survive. You were born to thrive. The first step in changing the way you see yourself is recognizing that your mind is the lens through which you view the world, and more importantly, through which you view yourself. Every thought you have, every belief you hold, shapes this lens. If your thoughts are filled with doubt and fear, then everything you see will be tainted by insecurity. But if your thoughts are grounded in possibility, in self-compassion, in strength, then the world, and your place in it, becomes a landscape of opportunity. Understand this. Self-perception is the foundation of everything. The way you see yourself is how you show up in the world. When you view yourself as weak, you act weak. When you view yourself as a failure, you find ways to validate that belief, whether it's sabotaging relationships, avoiding challenges, or giving up before you've even tried. But when you change the way you see yourself, when you begin to truly believe in your own worth, your own abilities, you give yourself permission to grow, to expand, to achieve. So how do we change this inner lens? How do we begin the monumental task of shifting our self-perception? First, we must recognize that the stories we tell ourselves are just that, stories. They are not facts. They are not truths etched in stone. These stories are often the result of past experiences, the things others have said about us, or the way we've interpreted events in our lives. But just because something happened to you, or just because someone told you something about yourself, does not make it a fact. You have the power to rewrite your story at any time. You are the author of your life, not a passive character. Next, we must engage in radical self-awareness. It's not enough to want change. We must understand what is holding us back. Take a hard look at your inner dialogue. How do you speak to yourself? What are the recurring thoughts you have about your abilities, your worth, your potential? Start by identifying these limiting beliefs. Write them down. Look at them. Challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have that supports this belief? And what evidence do I have that contradicts it? You will be surprised at how often these negative beliefs are unfounded, born from fear or insecurity rather than reality. But awareness alone is not enough. Action is key. Once you've identified the stories and beliefs that have been holding you back, it's time to act. And I don't mean grand, sweeping gestures of change. No, the most transformative changes happen through consistent, small actions. Begin by speaking to yourself differently. When that voice of doubt creeps in, respond with compassion. Say to yourself, I hear you, but I don't believe you. Replace thoughts of self-doubt with affirmations of strength. Tell yourself every day, I am worthy of success. I am capable of achieving my goals. I am enough. The power of repetition cannot be overstated. The more you practice affirming your worth, the more you will believe it. It's not about pretending or faking confidence. It's about building a new reality, one where you genuinely see yourself as powerful, capable, and deserving of greatness. Another vital part of changing the way you see yourself is surrounding yourself with the right people. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by negativity, by people who reinforce your doubts, then then your self-perception will remain limited. But if you surround yourself with those who uplift you, who see your potential even when you can't, who challenge you to grow, then your self-perception will begin to shift. Choose your circle wisely. Seek out mentors, friends, and colleagues who believe in you and who inspire you to be better. Moreover, we must learn to embrace failure as a necessary part of growth. Too often, we allow failure to define us. We internalize it, believing that our mistakes are a reflection of our character. But let me remind you, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every successful person you admire has failed, and not just once, but countless times. What separates them from the rest is their ability to view failure as a learning opportunity, not a reflection of their worth. You are allowed to fail. You are allowed to stumble. What matters is that you keep going, that you see yourself as someone who is constantly evolving, constantly learning. We must also recognize that self-perception is fluid. Who you are today is not who you were 5 years ago, and it's not who you will be 5 years from now. This is a liberating truth because it means that you are not stuck. You are not a static being. You are a work in progress, and that means you have the power to shape your future self. The way you see yourself today does not have to be the way you see yourself tomorrow. So give yourself the gift of grace. Be kind to yourself as you grow and evolve. Changing the way you see yourself is not an overnight process. It's not a switch you can flip and suddenly all your doubts disappear. It is a journey, a lifelong journey. But it is the most important journey you will ever embark on because how you see yourself determines how you experience the world. When you see yourself as worthy, you attract opportunities that align with that worth. When you see yourself as capable, you take risks that lead to growth. When you see yourself as powerful, you inspire others to see their own power. Changing the way you see yourself is the key to unlocking the door to the life you want. It's not enough to simply wish for change. You must take ownership of how you perceive yourself every day. Your self-image is the foundation upon which your life is built, and without a strong foundation, no structure can stand tall. Each time you look in the mirror, you have a choice. You can either reinforce the old narratives that have held you back, or you can decide to see someone who is ready to grow, evolve, and conquer. Imagine what would happen if every time you faced a challenge, you saw yourself as someone capable of overcoming it rather than shrinking in fear. Let's be clear. You are not your past mistakes, and you are not limited by your past experiences. The truth is, the stories you've been told about yourself, by others, or even by your own mind, are just stories. And stories can be rewritten. Just as you change your clothes, you can change your thoughts. The way you see yourself is not set in stone. It's fluid, malleable, and entirely within your control. One of the greatest realizations you can have is that the world reflects back to you what you believe about yourself. If you believe you are unworthy, you will attract situations that reinforce that belief. If you believe you are strong and capable, opportunities will arise that match that strength. It's a simple truth. You attract what you project, but changing the way you see yourself takes time, persistence, and, most importantly, patience. You didn't develop your current self-image overnight, and you won't completely transform it overnight either. This process is gradual, but every small shift counts. Every moment you choose to speak kindly to yourself, every time you decide to challenge a negative thought, you are building a new version of yourself. Self-compassion is crucial in this journey. So often, we are our own worst critics. We hold ourselves to impossible standards we would never hold others to. But you must understand that growth is not linear. There will be days when you feel strong and confident, and there will be days when old doubts resurface. On those tough days, remind yourself that progress is still being made. Even a step backward can provide the momentum needed for a giant leap forward. Think of your mind as a garden. What you plant will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, those weeds will flourish, choking out any chance for growth. But if you plant seeds of belief, hope, and self-love, with time and care, you will see the blossoms of your efforts. It all starts with the small, daily decision to nurture yourself. Now, let's talk about the power of positive self-affirmation. It may feel awkward or even uncomfortable at first, but affirming your worth out loud is transformative. Speak to yourself in the way you would speak to someone you love deeply. Tell yourself daily, I am enough. I am growing. I am capable of extraordinary things. These affirmations may start as whispers, but with repetition, they will become your truth. Another essential component of changing the way you see yourself is learning to let go. Let go of the labels, the judgments, and the opinions that have been placed on you. Too often, we internalize the perceptions others have of us, and we mistake them for our own. But you are not obligated to carry the weight of other people's expectations. You have the freedom to define yourself. There is incredible power in recognizing that you don't have to wait to be perfect to see yourself in a positive light. In fact, perfection is an illusion that keeps us stuck. Perfectionism breeds paralysis. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for progress. Learn to celebrate the small victories along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are evolving. Changing the way you see yourself also means being courageous enough to confront your fears. Fear is a natural part of growth, but it does not have to dictate your actions. Every time you face a fear head-on, you weaken its hold on you. You show yourself that you are stronger than the fear, that you are capable of enduring and overcoming discomfort. Remember this: the way you see yourself sets the tone for how others see you. If you carry yourself with confidence and self-assurance, people will respond to that energy. If you walk through life doubting your worth, that too will be mirrored back to you. You are the one who sets the standard for how you deserve to be treated. As you continue to change the way you see yourself, it's important to release the need for external validation. Your worth is not determined by the approval or praise of others. It comes from within. The moment you stop seeking validation outside of yourself, you reclaim your power. You stop living for the applause of others and start living for your own growth and fulfillment. A key part of this journey is learning to embrace your uniqueness. There is no one in this world exactly like you, and that is your superpower. The qualities that make you different are the very qualities that make you extraordinary. Stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it blinds you to the beauty of your own path. Changing the way you see yourself means being brave enough to acknowledge your dreams and desires. Too often, we push our aspirations aside because we don't believe we deserve them. But you deserve to dream, and you deserve to pursue those dreams with everything you have. You are not too old, too young, too inexperienced, or too flawed to go after what you want. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. You are the architect of your own life. You have the power to design it, to create it, to build it in any way you choose. But it all begins with how you see yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. When you cultivate that relationship, when you nurture it with kindness, belief, and love, you unlock a version of yourself that is unstoppable. No one else can do this work for you. You must be willing to take responsibility for your own self-image. You must be willing to put in the effort to change the narrative you've been living. But know this: you are capable of this transformation. You are capable of seeing yourself in a new light. And when you do, the world around you will change as well. Every great achievement in life begins with a single thought: I can do this. Let that be the thought you carry with you every day. Let it be the foundation upon which you build your new self-image. As you continue on this journey, remember that you are never alone. There are countless others who have walked this path before you and have come out stronger, more resilient, and more in love with themselves than ever before. You are part of a larger story, and your chapter is just beginning. See yourself as the hero of your own story. You are capable of incredible things. You are worthy of every dream you hold in your heart. And the moment you start to see yourself in this way, the world will open up to you in ways you never imagined. Imagine waking up each day with the belief that you are capable of achieving your wildest dreams. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing someone who is resilient, strong, and full of potential. Imagine walking through life with the unshakable confidence that you are enough, just as you are. That reality is possible for you. It's possible for each and every one of us. But it starts with changing the way you see yourself. So, my friends, as you leave here today, I ask you to take one thing with you: the understanding that you are the architect of your own identity. You have the power to shape how you see yourself, and in doing so, you have the power to shape your destiny. Change the way you see yourself, and you will change your life. Thank you.